you're returning, welcome back. I'm Danny Bushick, Life Money Program Manager here at the Credit Union. And today I have two fabulous coaches here. They take appointments regularly. I have Lashanta and V, who are going to talk about holiday spending hacks with me. So to kind of get things started, I'll have both of them introduce themselves, and they're going to let us know when they get started shopping for the holidays, just to kind of kick off the convo. So V, why don't you go first, and then Lashanta?
Hi, everyone. I am Varinder Singh, branch manager at BCU. I've been with BCU for 4 years and have over 25 years of banking experience. And I'm very passionate about helping people make smart financial decisions, especially during the holidays, because I know things can get a little overwhelming, and not just during the holidays, but also, prior to leading up to the holidays, during the holidays, and after the holidays. And yeah, so that's what we're here to talk about. And I love this topic, Danny, the holiday spending tips and tricks, especially, because I feel just yesterday we were talking about like summer barbecues and road
Yeah,
trips and whatnot, right? So this is very timely and
yeah,
time flies. So I would say my number one tip would be plan ahead. And, speaking to a lot of my family members, my colleagues, my friends, I was asking them for tips too, because I could use some of those, right? And they all mentioned like, yeah, plan early. And I do plan early. I would say for myself, I plan my holiday shopping in January, especially considering that I have two kids, right? 9 and 11, and both their birthdays are during the holidays because my daughter is December 18th, right before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving. We have Thanksgiving, then my daughter's birthday, then we have Christmas, then we have New Year's, and then my son's birthday is on January 4th. So you can imagine the amount of planning I have to
after
do.
that.
And yeah, budgeting, that's another one. So budgeting is a huge part of planning. And if you're not sure where to start, Danny, I did a podcast last year with Life Money, our budgeting podcast. I encourage everyone to go have a listen. So those are
Yeah,
my tips.
yeah, I love that, Pete. I'm excited to dive into that a bit more here as we start out. Lashanta, why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself for our listeners as well?
Yeah. My name is LaShanta Wilson. I'm a branch experience manager for BCU. I've been with BCU now for, well, in March, it will be 2 years. So yay. I've been in the finance industry for about 17 years. I've worked as a teller and everything everywhere else, all the way up to where I am now.
Yeah.
But born and raised in Portsmouth, Virginia, which is like 30 minutes away from Norfolk, Virginia, and about 45 minutes away from Virginia Beach. So if the question is, do you go to the beach often during the summertime? Absolutely.
Well, you're warding off snow, so I think we know
Yes,
that.
yes. Some things that I like to do. Of course, I'm a huge crime documentary person. I love museums. Um, what else? I love arts and craft. I'm a very arts and crafty girl. Self-teaching myself how to paint, but I am not the best of getting there. So
Getting started.
And I'm really excited to be with y'all today, and go over some helpful holiday spending tips. The holidays really sneaked up on us because I mean, I just feel like I blinked my eyes and I was like, we were just celebrating, it's about to be summer, and now I'm like, now I'm thinking about Thanksgiving and Christmas. So yeah, the year is almost up. So
When do you start planning, LaShanta? You kind of alluded to it. You said it snuck up on you, but when do you start planning for the holiday season?
honestly, so I save and start planning throughout the year. Really try to keep an eye on everything with what's going on. So if I see a good sale that's going on, like of course Bath and Body Works always have their semi-annual sales that I just love, then I will stock up on a whole bunch of things, and that can be like good stocking stuffers. So yeah.
Ah, okay, we'll talk more about it.
Mhm.
Looping our listeners back in the convo, when do y'all start shopping? We're gonna put a poll in the chat here just to kind of gauge where everyone is at in their holiday spending journey. And that'll help us kind of get into our first topic, which is the budgeting aspect, the B word, the spending plan. As B said, it's inevitable. We need it, especially if you want to save during this time of year. So we're getting results here. It looks like October, November is the most popular. A lot of people going with the flow, and that is totally okay. I know, Lashanta even just said herself, going with the flow. You can go with the flow throughout the year. You don't need a plan to kind of spend throughout the year for the holidays, and I'll kind of get into that next. But great. So October, November, it sounds like we're hitting the perfect time to start your holiday spending journey for a lot of you. So that's great. We'll close out the poll now and just jump into the first topic. So V, you talked about the podcast you had, which I loved. And I know I brought up one of the budgeting methods that you use, or your wife uses, better said. And I actually use this one during the holidays and recommend it to a lot of folks. It's the envelope method. So what I like to do is I actually like to pull out cash for certain expenses, certain shopping trips. And I'll only use that cash allotted. And what that helps with, for me at least, is credit usage. So I don't like spike and then it impacts my credit score or something, or I'm not constantly having to make payments as I use my credit card. But it also helps me stay within budget or maybe even save a little bit. So when I have a certain amount, I'm more likely to be like, I need to get below this rather than, I guess it's okay to spend $5 or $10 extra for something I only budgeted a certain amount for. But V, take us a little bit deeper into budgeting options for maybe folks going with the flow or folks just starting right now their holiday spending journey.
Absolutely. I feel budgeting is one of those things, right? There's so many ways you can actually create a budget. Even when we did our podcast, we talked about the envelope method that you use. And same with my wife too. She's a hairstylist, so she likes the envelope method and she collects a lot of tips. And then she'll use that, like, she'll put money aside every time she gets paid. And then she will use that for her holiday shopping too. But budgeting, like I feel there's so many different ways. We talked about the 80-20 rule, and I also do that something similar. I use we have a really good account. Here's my sales plug for our audience. BCU has this really nice rainy day savings account. What I do is each month, you want to make sure that your budget, it's not taken away your other priorities, right? Because let's say, if I have other financial goals, if I'm looking to save for the long term or make a big purchase, I want to make sure those goals or those priorities are not slowed down, right? I don't go off track. But I do use the rainy day savings in each month because I know that, okay, if I'm going to shop and my budget is, let's say, $2,000 for holiday shopping, how much money do I need to save each month? So I use our rainy day savings. Every time I get paid, I'll deposit like $100 out of my paycheck going into that rainy day savings. And that makes sure I don't go over my budget when the holiday season does come. Because I feel, the reason I said that after the holidays is also very critical, because I used to be go with the flow kind of guy. And I found myself, like, after the holidays, after New Year's, we dive right into January, February, and now my budgets are off the rail because I overspent, right? So I think definitely nothing wrong with being go with the flow, but also be comfortable with trying something new.
Yeah.
And this year, like I said, I have actually started early in January, and I'm happy to say I'm going to try my best not to go over that budget.
Yeah, we all are, right? And you actually reminded me, I saw a cool challenge recently where you match what you spend with savings during the holidays. And what that does is it helps, right, with any of that be like debt payoff, right? That some folks might experience come January, February. Right, we're going to emphasize emergency savings here at the Financial Wellbeing Program because we know how core it is to continuing to make progress on all the other saving milestones that we have in plan for ourselves. Holiday Club savings account. Thank you for sharing. But yeah, you can set up personalized savings account, as B said, that you can add to throughout the year. Don't just think this is the time of year to save for the holidays. You can do it throughout the year and really track that progress. And so kind of hopping back into a little bit more specific, but like gifting strategies. So we're going to pop up our next poll here. And we want to know your go-to gifting strategy for the holidays, because all of us are different, right? Some of us love to get all the gift cards. Some of us love to kind of create gifts, right? Some of us will spend time with folks. I'm alluding to a lot of love languages here, but once we get that poll up, we'd love to hear what you guys are doing right now, and that'll help us again steer our conversation for specific savings depending on how you gift. So let's see what we have. I'm gonna look at the results as they come in. It looks like y'all are thinking. I know that, oh wow, everyone like picked one at once. Okay, cool. It looks like there's a preference range here. I think everyone can view it. So it looks like the most preferred is I shop early and track deals to save. Good for y'all. That is great. That is like, I feel like the one where we want you guys to be at, but want to help you get to. It looks like next is I give experience or memory making moments. I do too. I know even V, before we were all getting warmed up together as a team, just talking through some ideas, and he was saying like travel and experiences. I don't want to steal your thunder, V, but you know, taking your daughter or your niece, right, to the Mall of America. You talked about that time kind of you spend together and how you get to make memories. So it looks like those are the most popular. And I'd love to kind of talk to LaShanta now about how we leverage all of these different ways to gift during the holiday season. And we can pull the poll down now, but what do you do, LaShanta, and kind of looking at our audience, knowing they shop early, they track deals to save. I think a flight tracker for me too, right? Because I'd come back to Chicago every year for the holidays. But how can folks here with these gifting strategies kind of make that saving progress, or with these specific saving strategies, how can we save?
Yeah. I mean, I would say taking advantage of sometimes the sales throughout the year. Like everyone mentioned, as far as saving ahead of time or shopping ahead of time. Like for instance, the semi-annual sales that like Bath and Body Works have, or also sales that they have. You know what else is really good? I just thought about it. The funny thing about it is, of course, there's sales that happen before the holidays actually begin, but there's so many other good sales that happen actually after the holidays. So that could be really a great time to start stocking up for next year, even if it's like something big or even like stocking stuffers. Yeah,
Bath
that's
and Body Works. I get the 20 candle
yeah,
limit. Judge me, all of you here. But I do it. And even for Halloween this year, I went in the
yeah,
day afterward and everything was 50% off. And I'm like,
yes,
oh
the
my gosh, I'm
candy.
never gonna have to buy a costume full price again. So it's
Right.
such a good recommendation. Keep going, LaShanta.
Yes. Especially the candy after Halloween, it's like 50, 75% off. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, you can even use the Halloween candy maybe for stocking stuffers.
Right? We all love candy.
But yeah, so taking advantage of those sales throughout the year is like really beneficial. Also, taking advantage of the rewards loyalty programs, really, really good. And there's a difference also between the reward programs and like the reward and loyal programs versus like a credit card that has discounts for or yeah, like discounts off of what you're
Wow.
purchasing. You kind of want to be careful with using those store credit cards that say, okay, get our store credit card, get 25% off your purchase. And the reason why is because even though you feel like you're taking 25% off the purchase, the interest rate normally for those credit cards are skyrocket. So you may feel like you're getting a deal, but at the end of the day, when that credit card statement comes out, it kind of either weighs what and what, or even more, that interest weighs more. So be careful with that. But the reward programs, like or rewards or loyalty programs that I'm talking about, are the ones that every time you make a purchase, you earn points that you can either redeem at another time and get some type of discount or get something else along with what you're purchasing. And some examples are like, I know this is so girly, but like Sephora or
Yeah,
Ulta
Sephora,
or
yes.
something like
Yep, those are
that.
the rewards.
Yeah.
Yep.
or even Macy's or Target. I love Target. So even with those, you stack up on those points. Like for me personally, I hold on to those points from the beginning of the year till the holiday season, so I can get the best rewards for them. As far as when I purchase something, I can redeem those points. So yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite things to do, especially when it comes to like Ulta or Sephora. I mean, I'm getting perfume almost practically free. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
worth it. I know you made me think of like TJ Maxx every darn year tries to get me to open up a credit card, and I'm always like, no,
no,
do it. It's not worth it.
no, it's
Um,
not worth it.
And V, I want you to talk to us more about credit card rewards. We had Caitlin here in the chat. She's trying to use her rewards for her Christmas budget this year. I know Jessa even brought up our BCU Christmas Club. So talk to us a little bit about leveraging credit card rewards for your holiday spending.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree with LaShanta. Credit cards can be that slippery slope. So you want to be careful with that. And a few years ago, I can share an example too. I learned this from my member, or I should say customer, because I was with another institution back then, and he actually would come in just like every other day. He used to deliver mail to my office. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, Christmas is coming up. What's your plan?" And he was going to fly to LA to meet his daughter. And I said, "Weren't you just in LA during Thanksgiving? How do you afford all these trips?" And he says, "It's actually thanks to you. It's that credit card that you opened for me. I've been really using the miles." So it made me think, okay, so what am I doing that this person is doing correctly? What am I doing wrong, right? Because I never used to use credit cards to my advantage. Like I would never use them for the points. And he had taught me, like, okay, what he does is, and I do this now every day. I pay all my utilities, I pay my groceries on my credit cards, and anything I can spend money on, all my expenses, they go on my credit card. And what's really nice is, yes, you make rewards. For example, our BCU credit card, I have travel rewards. I get 2 points for every dollar that I spend. And each month, these points do add up. And every year, I'm not going to lie, but every year I've gotten maybe 2 or 3 airplane tickets, each year. And for a family of four, when you get those 2 and 3 plane tickets, I mean, you're creating memories with them. Not only that, it's also helping your finances, right? I'm not paying out of my pocket. I remember 2021, actually, we took my daughter and my son to Disney. And thank you to my, credit card points, everything was paid for. But again, they can be that slippery slope. You want to make sure that if you are putting all your expenses on the credit cards, each month you have enough money to cover everything. Otherwise, yes, that can definitely land you in some hot water. And another thing I wanted to add is do not forget like the local deals, because LaShanta brought up another huge points about, like taking advantage of rewards points and whatnot, but local deals. And, I live in Minnesota, so we have the Great Mall of America. And I remember last year when my niece was visiting, and she's very hard to buy a gift for because, sometimes it can be hard, right? It's not easy to buy a gift that somebody really will want or enjoy. So when she was visiting, we had all these like, so Mall of America, what they do is every year during from Thanksgiving all the way until New Year's, anything that you buy at the mall, they actually give you points. And these points can be redeemed for experiences. Like they have the Nickelodeon universe, which, if you go in and purchase a ticket, those tickets sell for $40 a pop, right? So now if you're taking a family, let's say you have 6, 7, 8 people, that $40 per person can add up. So, I do my holiday shopping at the Mall of America, and I take advantage of these, free points, free wristbands to Nickelodeon, and then also Sea Life. So I remember last year when my niece was visiting from Chicago, we brought her to Sea Life and we also took her to Nickelodeon. So gifts, you can be creative, they can also be experiences. They don't have to be monetary or something physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, really quick here. I want to point out two things, and I'm reiterating this one just because I keep it so top of mind, but credit usage. So yes, maximize your credit card rewards, but make sure you're paying them off and you're not spending more than you're able to pay off, right? So ensuring you're making those payments and not letting it build up toward that limit because that will impact your credit score. You want to be about 30% of that credit usage. And then
Right.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what LaShanta alluded to, but right, we have Cyber Monday, we have Black Friday, we have all of these events that I feel like marketing tries to make the times to shop. But we know here, this group, that they're not necessarily the only time or the best time, arguably, to get your best
Yeah.
prices. And so talk to me a little bit about that trade-off between planning and then avoiding stress. What is the difference kind of between planning and then maybe relying on some of these designated days for savings closer to the holidays?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like myself, I don't have good luck when when I plan something and I want to go and buy that item, I can never find a good deal. Maybe that's just me, but I feel deals usually happen when you're not looking for them. For
Mhm.
example, this year, my son, who will be turning 11, he's been asking for a cell phone. And, it's extra phone line cost extra money, right? So I was fortunate enough, T-Mobile, I've been with T-Mobile for 10 plus years, and they emailed me 2 months ago. And they had said, hey, congratulations, you qualify for a free phone line. And my son had asked me 6 months ago for a cell phone for Christmas. So guess what? I took advantage of that extra phone line and I had a phone sitting in my closet. So I'll pack it up during Christmas time and I'll put it under the Christmas tree. There we go. So definitely sometimes these deals come through when you're not looking for them. That's one. And then I also feel, yeah, definitely like, we have some great sales days too.
Yeah.
After Thanksgiving, we have the Cyber Monday, we have Amazon sales and whatnot. But for me, I feel myself, I'll end up spending more money. Like that's called impulse buying. And that's where I find myself. So and I also like what my colleague does. I was talking to him, I said, hey, give me a tip what you guys use. And he
Mhm.
had mentioned that him and his wife, they make a list early on. So they plan like 9 months in advance and they'll start making a list and they both share that list on their phone devices, right? And whenever, let's say, one person goes into the store, they find a deal on a specific item, they will cross off that item from the list. That
Mhm.
way his spouse will know that okay, that has been purchased. So I think that's a great way to try to find these deals when you're not looking for them. Just have a list ready, and then whenever you see something, opportunity comes, make that purchase.
And like reallocate expenses, you just made me think of that. But what if you got like, right, that phone you budgeted for was going to be a heck of a lot more expensive than what the T-Mobile deal had provided you. So maybe some of those funds can go to, something that your daughter wanted or something, right? So you can reallocate some of those expenses depending on where you save as well. We're going to have another poll here, and it kind of talks about this. LaShanta talked about the 25% you get when you sign up for a credit card, but it's this term spaving. So we're going to quiz you, audience. What do y'all think saving now and spending later when prices drop? Is it splurging on gifts to feel better? Spending now to save more later through strategic deals, or saving by avoiding all? Oh, we're neck and neck. We're still neck and neck. Wow, this is going to be an exciting reveal. Okay. Well, it looks like the correct group is in the lead at 49%. So spaving
Wow.
is spending now to save more later through strategic. And so the interesting thing about this is it's not always as it seems. Saving isn't always a success because you're still spending money, right? And that money could be, as we talked about, more than what you budgeted, even though you're saving, right? Some money. That spending could still be more than what you allotted for.
Right.
So I guess, LaShanta, talk to me more about those big deal days, right? They're coming up, they're right around the corner. Everyone's ready to start shopping in November, but they might be like, oh, Black Friday is going to be here in 3 weeks, so I can just sit and hang out until then or something like that. Talk to us more about why saving impacts that behavior.
Yeah, so saving is a real deal. Um, it's so funny because sometimes you get in a habit when you're saving, or if you're trying to avoid saving, you're like, okay, I'm gonna buy this for them and I'm gonna buy this for me, So but one of the best ways to really prevent that is do a lot of comparison shopping with what item that you are trying to purchase. Like V was mentioning, making a list of what you're actually wanting to buy for this year. What are you trying to give? So making a list and comparing, going to different stores to see where you can get the best deal from. And sometimes you may even save money by just getting the apps on their phones, like Walmart, Target, or something. Or what else? Or Macy's or something like that. Sometimes you have those apps conveniently on your phone that you can actually do comparison shopping. And then also kind of like I would say to avoid the impulsive shopping, because sometimes you may see a big deal and you're like, wait a minute, let me go get this. Kind of do what I call is like the 48-hour waiting period, which is putting the item that you're thinking about purchasing, especially if it's a large ticket item, in your cart, but do not purchase it. Just have just keep it in your cart for like a good 24, 48-hour period. Do a little bit more research, especially if it's a big ticket item, before purchasing, or even to prevent you from overspending what your budget is. A lot of times when you revisit the items that are in your shopping cart after 2 days, you're looking at them like, you know what? I don't really need that ice cream maker. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, the 48-hour period definitely works, or wish list definitely work. Also, don't be browsing for fun. Like keeping the browsing down to a minimum keeps that strategy of what the wish list is of what you're trying to purchase. Because having a just shopping and going through things, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna purchase this, I'm gonna buy this. But if you're limiting your browsing as far as going to those shopping places just because you see it flashing, especially on your emails, because they're really good with sending emails to you saying, hey, come visit us on this website. We got 50% off or 25% off or things like that. So maybe even like take a step back with not browsing. Something that I do personally is I actually go through my email list after the holidays and do unsubscribe to those places that I shop at so that I don't have it coming in my email, so it won't tempt me saying, okay, it's 50% off,
So smart.
So unsubscribing after the holidays works really well. And another thing I would say to be mindful of when you do make your purchases is be mindful of your shipping and handling. Yeah, a lot of people don't even think about it when you're purchasing items, especially if you're going to different places, like Walmart or Target. Those are different shipping and handling fees that you have to pay. So maybe seeing if you could find the deal or what you're trying to purchase all in the same place so that you can maybe gather it together, and that's one shipping and handling fee versus so many.
Oh, yeah, LaShanta, Sandy read your mind. Sandy,
Mhm.
such good advice. But she said in the chat, if you purchase gifts for people out of your state, just ship them directly to that address. Sandy, I do that myself for family in
Yeah.
Chicago because I'm out here in Oregon. So I just ship directly to mom and I tell her that has my name on it, mother. You do not open it. It is not yours. It stays there. And when I get to you, I will wrap it and put it under the
Right.
tree. So I love that one.
That's smart.
Jessica, yeah, I get a dopamine hit when I put something just in my cart. Like, and then I
Mhm.
realize afterward, I'm like, oh, thank goodness I didn't buy it because I just take it out of my cart now and I didn't even spend anything. So it does give you that little, like, even during a store, during shopping at a store, I'll like
Yeah.
hold on to something for my entire kind of shopping trip and I'll keep it in the cart. And then right before I check out, I'll look at it and I'll be like, you know what? You didn't give me as much joy as I thought you would when I
Yeah.
pretended to have you. So I put it back. So those are all really good kind of tips just to help you deal with that impulse control.
Right, right.
Rusty, you do what I do similar to the envelope method. So Rusty said that he only takes his small CC limit card or a prepaid card, so he stays
Mhm.
within his budget.
Oh,
Love
that's really
both of
smart.
those pieces of advice because they're very similar, but you're still maybe getting some credit card points or rewards, right, by using it, even if it's still at that limit that you want it to be at. Um,
Absolutely.
Oh, and then Amber, Etsy does this. So Amber had mentioned many times if you add to your shopping cart and wait, the retailer will send you a coupon. So I've noticed with
Mhm.
Etsy, because I love handmade gifts too, like Lashanta, or I'll do them
Yeah.
myself, but Etsy, the seller will actually be like, actually, I'll give you 15, percent off of what you have in your cart. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I was waiting for it. So that's also a really great advice. I just love this group of people because everyone has so many great tips right now in the
Yes.
but I want to give Verinder a second to just get back into the, getting creative with your credit without racking up debt. So let's talk about it. A lot of folks
Yeah.
come January are hungover from the holiday spending. How can we help those folks manage that credit card debt so that they don't end up feeling hungover come January?
Absolutely. Trying to find my unmute button
You're
before I
good.
speak. But no, before I dive into how to really make sure you're not going over your budget, one of the things I don't know, like I'm surprised that no one talked about. Yes, when we are talking about gifting, what happened to holiday cards? Do we do that? And
Yeah.
I remember last year, my son, since he doesn't have the money to go buy me a gift that I want, he created a card. So when my cat passed away, he made a card for me for Christmas, and he put my cat on there and myself, and I still have it in my closet. So definitely, if you cannot make a card or draw a card, cards can be a great item too around the holiday season. Just mail a little nice note to your loved ones. And
Yeah.
yes, as far as making sure how do you not go over your budget or, use these credit cards, I think spaving is very similar, right? It's very similar concept. Yes, it can make you overspend. Same thing with credit cards too. And again, back, to our first point, budgeting. I think that's going to be your blueprint. So making sure you're not getting off track of your budget. Because again, yes, if you don't have a budget, you're not sticking to it. It could also slow you down from your other priorities. So one of the ways that, myself, I do my budgeting for holidays is again, rainy day savings. That's a great one. But then, yeah, credit card points. I definitely take advantage of the bonus. And okay, I don't want it to sound sales pitchy, but again, here's my another sales plug for BCU. So I utilize their Power Plus checking. And what I love about the Power Plus checking is we actually pay interest on that checking account. It's 4% interest. And each month, I'm only using my Power Plus checking for my paycheck to be coming in, and then my mortgage payment goes out, and then another payment goes out, which is my BCU credit card payment. And what I like about that is now I consider myself to be double dipping. So I'm making 4% interest on my paychecks. And on top of that, I'm actually earning interest or the points on my credit cards. So it's a double whammy, right? So whatever interest I make on my Power Plus checking goes into my rainy day savings now. Now I have more money for holidays. So it's a win-win for everyone. But I would say definitely look at, all the fine print, read everything about your current, banking accounts, the services that you're using, and definitely use it to your benefit. And I think there's definitely value on, using credit cards and using it properly.
Yeah. I want to emphasize one thing I just thought of, but social media, you touched on it a little bit, Lashanta, but you said unsubscribe once you're done shopping. I know
Yeah.
we said it in our pre-interview, but stop, pressing that button once to just purchase something, kind of take the temptation away entirely once you've completed your list, and you'll be so happy with how much you've saved. There's actually some science behind the fact that we have these, tap to pay and credit card transactions and Venmo and PayPal and all these ways to exchange money without actually like using cash, right? It almost makes it seem like we're not doing anything, nothing's happening. We're not feeling that sense of losing right money and gaining something else. And so really, like even with TikTok nowadays, I know it just takes one tap of your finger to purchase something and have it at your door the next day. So just remove that connection of your card, do what you can to avoid that impulse kind of spending behavior from the root, right? So from the beginning, just make sure that you don't actually end up making purchases you don't need to make, especially when you're done. And kind of carrying on to with V, that trade-off, right? So you're either back to the beginning of this live event, you're a planner or you're a go with the flow person, right? Two radical sides. And that's okay. There's no right or wrong way because you can get your holiday shopping done efficiently and safe by being one or the other, or a little bit in the middle. Maybe we're a little bit of mix, who knows? But like I said, I shop all year round. So I'm kind of a mix. I like to get some of the deals around Black Friday. I like to go Lashanta to Bath and Body Works at 3 a.m. and get my 20 plus, candles with my friends to save up for the year. But throughout the year, I also stop, and I go to different states and I try to, stack up on things I know that folks will enjoy. And I said it again, but gifting with intention. So try using those love languages, those other, ways to figure out what someone will truly appreciate rather than just spending the dime. We're coming up here on time too, everyone. So we'll have about 7 minutes here for any questions, more topics you want to hear about. I know a lot of you asked about credit card rewards, how to maximize those. I think LaShanta, I'm going to ask to talk a little bit about our 2K promotion we have going on right now through the end of the year at the credit union. But feel free to pop those questions here in the chat because we want to answer as much as we can to help y'all save as much money as you can through approaching the holiday season. LaShanta, why don't you give us a breakdown? What's the 2K Stack Your Way promo happening right now?
My goodness, I have it right here.
Oh, look at that.
Yes. So we have an amazing stack promo, stack your savings promotion going on for the credit union. So you literally, if you add up all of these items that we're offering, you can actually get $2,000 that we're giving away. So for instance, if you open up a checking account with us, and I have to say our checking accounts are free. No minimum balance, no monthly fees, and have your direct deposit going to us. You'll get $150 just for having your checking account with a direct deposit. Even if you had decided to go with the credit card, you get $200 in cash rewards. If you're looking to maybe refinance those student loans that you have, or you're going back to school, there's a $300 promotion that we're doing as well. And if you're looking to save money on your current vehicle as far as refinancing, or if you're looking to purchase that new vehicle, then you'll get $350. And then also the last but not least, if you're in the market for shopping for a home, then you'll get $1,000 lender credit with our mortgage. So this is amazing promo that we're doing now. I'm always super excited to talk about this. Yeah, so this is it.
And what I love about that is it goes beyond that promotion. Not, I think about how much money I've made from BCU on my accounts. Seriously, it's like having another part-time job. I've had my account since 2021 and all the great bonuses, interest, dividends that I've earned. I mean, that money adds up.
Yeah. And the cool thing too about having your checking account with us that we also offer early direct deposit too. So you can actually get your payroll check up to 2 days early as well. But joining the BCU family, I like to say family. So joining the BCU family, we offer pretty much everything and we cater to our members. Everything from the rainy day savings account that V mentioned, or a holiday account that we have, to our credit cards, to our tools for Life Money U that we have as far as for financial education, and even financial coaching. So you're looking to do improve on your credit, budgeting, we offer that as well. And even we offer financial advisors. So I could go on and talk about BCU.
Oh, no, I could too. I could too. It's not just you. That's why we're on this together. Kelly asks, is this only for customers or do I qualify if I already have direct deposit into my BCU account? V, I'll let you answer this one and then maybe you can sneak in for Kelly or refer a friend program here at the credit.
Absolutely. So yeah, great question, Kelly. So again, the question is this only for customers or do I qualify if I already have a direct deposit into my BCU account? So, you know, the some of the great promotions that we have, for example, the credit card that LaShanta brought up, it's for existing members as well. We have that mortgage promotion, and that's also for existing members. And that's not it. We have so many amazing promotions for existing members and referrals. That's another one. And what I love about, some benefits for existing members is every time I refer someone, that 4% interest that I spoke about, they double it for me. It's 8% now for 3 months, which is huge. So that's a, really good promotion for existing members, which I have not seen anyone do. So I think BCU goes above and beyond for their existing members as well. So yes, we have not forgotten about you, and thank you for being a member of BCU.
Yeah, and just to clarify, Kelly, so this Stack Your Way to 2K is for new members only, but existing members have access to what we just described. So just for clarity again. And then the referral is for existing members as well. Connie asked us, is the direct deposit for checking the full deposit of the check or a portion of the check? LaShanta, I'll let you answer this one for Connie.
For the direct deposit, as far as relating to the Stack promo, I guess.
I believe it's
This
for
was-
the PP, the Power Plus checking
Okay.
offer. Connie, if you want to clarify for us, we can answer this probably a little better for you. But LaShanta, why don't we just go off of the Power Plus checking, assuming that's what
Okay.
you're referring to.
Yeah, so with the Power Plus checking account, as to earn the interest, well, like I said, well, actually, the Power Plus checking account is free, no minimum balance, no monthly fees. And of course, like I said, the early direct deposit too once you sign up. But to qualify, if you have, I think, what is it, at least 30 transactions within a month, signing up for e-statements or your statements online, and at least a qualifying qualifying direct deposit or like a regular deposit, like it could be for Social Security or some Social Security or something like that, or a government deposit of 3,000, I think, then you will earn that interest. Yeah.
Yeah, and LaShanta, Connie followed up. She actually was curious, is the direct deposit or the Stack Your Way to 2K, the full
Oh.
deposit or a portion of the check? So that's what
As long as it's $1,000 at minimum, then yes, that's what it qualifies for the new member promotion. Absolutely.
hopefully that answered your question, Connie. And we are at our time for this event. So unless any questions trickle in here while I close this out, we're going to start closing up. So we just want to thank everyone here for taking the time to attend our virtual live event. We do have all of our 2026 virtual live events with Life Money planned out, and get ready, everyone. They're new topics. We're honing in on kind of things that we've asked you and what we've been hearing from our company partners at the credit union. So everything from navigating the sandwich generation to building credit, debt repayment plans is huge. Student loan debt, how are we going to handle all of that? We've got new episodes coming out too on the podcast related to this. So if you're not already subscribed to our podcast, the Life Money Podcast, please subscribe. You'll be hearing from, I'm sure, me again and LaShanta there in season 3 too. Thank you guys so much again for being on this virtual live event. LaShanta, V, it's been awesome having both of you. Any kind of closing words you want to leave our audience with?
I would say thank you everyone for tuning in, listening to our podcast, and happy holidays. And I also took a lot of tips from LaShanta and Danny, and hopefully you guys
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lashanta?
Well, it's just a pleasure being here, and I actually got a couple of good tips from the chat, so I'm like, okay, I need to
Me
write this
too.
down.
Yeah, everyone needs to attend the next one again.
Right. But happy holidays to everyone. And of course, keep in mind that it's not always about what you're giving, but it's also about what you are giving to. In other words, it's more of the thought that counts than anything.
So
Yeah.
true. Love that. Thank you again, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.